Hey you guys, it's Lynnea. Today is the release for the iCrafter March 2020 product release, and I'm just going to show you really quickly here all of the products in this release, and then we'll make a card. So to start off with, we have the Haley alphabet as well as the Haley outline dies, and these dies are really cool because they'll cut out the actual shape of the letter, but also have that outline, so you can use them with the stamp set in a really cool way. Here's the Swan Tunnel Base, the Geometric Favor box, and then the Flower Burst die set. So for today's card, I'm going to be using that Swan Tunnel Base die set. And this is actually intended so that you can make a dimensional tunnel card. But I like to create more clean and simple cards, and so I'm going to show you how to use these dies to create a shaker card. So to start off with, I have that swan die. I'm going to cut that from some white cardstock. And then the little greeneries with the cattails and the like the little grass stems, I'm going to cut from black cardstock. Now I'm going to try my best to line up the ones I'm cutting from the black cardstock, the cattails and such, with the swan, which is going to be the forefront of my card, and then the others I'm going to layer behind it. But I'll show you in a minute here why that doesn't matter, because I'm just going to be cutting off the excess black cardstock anyway. So to start here, I have the swan die cut from the white cardstock. That's going to be the very front of my card. And then I have the cattails here, and as I remove this die and kind of punch out all the excess pieces, you're going to see how this layers right behind. So all I'm going to do is just line up those circles, and then I can just trim off the black cardstock, and that's why it doesn't really matter if you can get these perfectly centered or not. I could have even cut these from smaller pieces of cardstock and just layered them behind. So here we go. I'm just going to add some adhesive to the back of my white cardstock piece because that's going to be my front. And then I'll put that onto the cattails piece. That's going to be my second layer. And then I'll put that onto the little, the tall grass. Now, when you create the way these dies were intended to be created, you're going to cut these and there's a base die in this die set, and you're going to be able to create a tunnel card so that you have all these dimensional layers with the swan, the cattails, and the grass. And then you even have these extra cattail pieces that you can cut out and use. I won't be using them today, but you can definitely create such a dimensional scene with this die set. Now I decided to have an extra piece of cardstock go in the back, and I'm going to use some iCrafter inks to blend on my background. So I'm going to start off here. I'm just using a round ink blending tool, and I'm going to start with the candy coated ink, and this is the pink ink, and these are hybrid inks, so they do blend really nicely as well as stamp really nicely. I'm going to start off at the bottom here, and this is a new blending foam, so I'm making sure to really get a lot of ink on here. That way the more ink you have on your blending foam, the easier it will blend. So like I said, I'm starting with the candy coated, and that'll be my pink ink at the bottom. I'm kind of creating a little sunrise background, or sunset maybe. I'm not sure which is which. But here's the Mango Madness. This is my orange ink, and I'm still using that round blending tool, and I'm just going to kind of go back and forth. When I blend inks, I like to start with my darkest ink, which in this case would be that candy-coated, the pink ink, and then I'll move into my middle one, the Mango Madness, and then I'm going to finish with my lightest color, the Lemon Drop. I just find that it's a lot easier to go from dark to light, kind of in reverse rainbow order when you're ink blending. That way you don't have to go back and forth, and it's just less work. I'm a lazy crafter, and I know there's lots of other lazy crafters out there who will relate to me. So this way, if I go reverse rainbow order, I don't have to go back and blend so much. If I was to go yellow to orange, I'd have to go back to yellow to blend out the orange, and then if I went orange to pink, I'd have to go back to the orange to blend out that pink. You get the idea, so it's a lot easier to go backwards. Okay, here's the Haley alphabet stamp set, and I'm going to stamp the word smile down below my little swan scene here. So I'm just going to line these up, and I like this alphabet set because it's really easy to line up. The letters are kind of blocky, and then even the photopolymer that they're on, you can really easily see where that is and line them up on a MISTI. I'm going to use the same 3 colors of ink, Lemon Drop, Mango Madness, and Candy Coated ink, and I'm just going to ombre stamp this sentiment. So in this case, I am starting with my lightest ink, and that's because I don't want to cross-contaminate any of my ink pads. So if I go from a light to a dark ink pad, like I am with this Lemon Drop into the Mango Madness, if there's any bits of Lemon Drop ink left on my stamp, it's not really going to affect the Mango Madness ink. But if I went from a darker ink to the Lemon Drop, I might get some of that ink on my Lemon Drop ink pad, and that would discolor it. So as I'm stamping, I'm just going in, stamping, and then kind of using my towel to wipe off some of that excess ink so that I don't get harsh edges and I get a smooth blend of that ink. It's a really easy technique and one of my favorites to get multicolor ink stamping. Now you could definitely leave your card at this and it would be really pretty, but I decided to make this into a shaker card. So I have a piece of acetate here, and I'm just going to add some tape runner adhesive, or rather some strong double-sided tape, and just go all the way around this little circle opening, and then I'll add my acetate piece on top of that. So once I have my acetate piece on there, I'm going to create a shaker well for my sequence, and this is really easy to do. I folded some foam tape over on itself to create a double layer, and then cut up the middle so that I could have some skinnier strips of foam tape to work with. And then I removed both sides of the backer to the tape. I find that it's easier to curve those the tape around the edges of the circle if there's no backing on there. And then I'm just going to fill up the rest of the background of the card with the foam tape so that when I add my background on, it doesn't collapse. Now I have some sparkling clear sequins here, and I'm going to add them into the center of that ink blending. That way, all I have to do is just flip over my shaker well there and just add that right on top. I find that's easier than trying to line up the background with the card front. This way I can look through my shaker through that acetate and figure out exactly where I want it to go. And then if there is any extra of that ink blended background kind of hanging off, I can use my scissors and just trim that up. Okay, so the card is just about done here. I'm going to use some liquid pixie dust and just add some glitter to this smile sentiment as well as to the swan and those black silhouette greens that I added to the background. And that will finish off my release project for the March 2020 iCrafter release. I hope you enjoyed this card and that you'll head over to the iCrafter website and grab this amazing Swan Tunnel Base die set. Thank you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.